Nicola Pochettino from the European Investment Bank, where you are Director of Environment and Natural Resources. You've just been on the panel talking to the forum this year, the opening panel this morning, and the where do we go next question was really at the heart of the debate. What's your strategic approach to agriculture from the bank's point of view? What's your mission? What are your goals there?
Well, thank you very much for the question. The European Investment Bank is one of the largest, if not the largest, multilateral development bank. And as all public banks should base its strategy on addressing what the market cannot address, where the market fails. So our prioritization in the agriculture sector is based on the addressing the market failures and the investment barriers that slow down or impede the development of the sector. Let me mention some of those, the most important. First, food security. This is a public good, and we should ensure that the need for food is met. The second is the fact that agriculture has to be climate and nature friendly. We need to address climate mitigation issue, reduce CO2 emissions, and we need to address biodiversity issues. And we also be aware, though, that the farmers are also impacted by climate change, and therefore we need to help them to be resilient to climate change, and not only also to economic shock that can come from increase of their main inputs like fertilizers or energy. Another point, another investment barrier we're trying to address is to help the farmers increase their competitiveness, to improve the yields, to lower the use of land for the same amount of product. And last but not least, especially in the EU, where population is aging, we would like to give a lot of support to younger and new farmers.
So this was something that was raised in the forum, and I know you mentioned this, attracting young farmers, making sure they don't leave, thinking about succession and tailored lending. Has that not been there before, and you're putting some of these investment instruments back in?
No, I believe that there's been for a long time attention to attracting young farmers, to help rural areas develop and be repopulated. This is not new. What I'm saying is that we should probably increase the amount of support given to those sectors. In particular, for example, what we do is to help young farmers through intermediated lending with very low interest rate loans that they can receive through banks, commercial banks in their country, to which we lend, and they own lend to them later on. And this happens for nearly 70% of our lending, not just to young farmers, but to farmers in general. But this is not the only instrument we have on the table. We are also increasingly taking more risk for innovation. This was one of the topics raised also during the discussion. We have instruments like venture debt that help early stage companies to develop their ideas, if they are, and we can analyze them through a group of experts, whether these ideas are really good and bankable. But we are also not forgetting the more conventional, traditional part of agriculture, the need for infrastructure. We need irrigation system. We need to digitalize the system. We need maybe sometimes roads. We need to make rural areas more attractive. And I mentioned also that in addition to this, we should help make the farming activity more resilient, not just for young farmers, but for everyone, of course, and de-risking the activity, particularly from climate, meteorological, weather, extreme weather events. Agriculture is a very, very complex and very uncertain business. And last but not least, the issue of payment for ecosystem services. If we want to bring back some land to be regenerated and to contribute to increasing biodiversity, well, somebody needs to pay, and it should be us.
That's a long list.
It is.
So, quick progress report, because I know from the forum and from the audience, there were comments like, nature has no value, the market rewards growth, it rewards the destruction of nature, that innovation is only taking baby steps, it's only really around the edges. Is that your experience? Is that your view? How much further do we need to go? How are you working?
So definitely there's a lot to be done. We have made an assessment of the investment gaps in the agriculture sector in Europe. There's been a study done by the bank recently, and we interviewed several thousands farmer or association of farmers in different countries in the EU. So the gap has been identified at around 60 billion euros per year. This is what is needed. And of course the EIB can do a lot, but it still remains relatively small. What we do is to attract other banks, commercial bank, and we attract other investors. We want the private sector to be in. So there's more to be done, absolutely, but our credibility can catalyze the private sector, can catalyze commercial bank to help them intervene and step up, scale up financing in innovation or in other part of the agriculture system that are needing investment.
Nicola, thank you very much. Good to hear it, and enjoy the rest of the forum today.
Thank you very much.